Hello everyone and welcome to Deja Vu, the show where I look back on a piece of media that I've already seen and tell you what I think about it. This time by request of my wonderful patrons Gemman5 and Data52, as well as John Buenos, David Frog, Fisheyes and Rymation, I will be experiencing Deja Vu for ReZero. To be completely honest, ReZero was a bit of a chore to watch. I stuck with it through to the end because it had such a stellar reputation online, but I ultimately forgot about it as soon as I finished it. It wasn't bad per se. I can't identify the elements that turned me off it as I can with Bunny Girl Senpai or Batum. It's just a show that never quite hooked me. There is one scene that I still remember though, and it's so random that I'd wager none of you would ever guess it. It's a scene where Subaru runs into those muggers and instead of trying to fight them or talk his way out, he just screams for help. I love the idea of an outnumbered character just calling out for help and exposing their tough acting attackers as cowards. Besides that, I never really got all that invested in Subaru. I thought at the time that he was self-centered and bratty and I just didn't like him all that much. What I didn't realise at the time is that you're supposed to see Subaru that way. I've learnt recently, thanks to the work of Mother's Basement and Explanation Point, that the whole show is about Subaru learning that his issues did not stem from the world he lived in, but how he acted within it. That premise is an intriguing one, and I wonder if my lack of enjoyment for ReZero came from missing that obvious point. Part of me wonders if I would have enjoyed it better if I had seen more isekai, given its subversive take on that genre. Sure, Konosuba was a subversion on that genre as well, but Konosuba had more going for it for me to resonate with, while ReZero just didn't. I'm racking my brain trying to remember the crucial moments that stood out, but most of them I only remember because of Gigic's parody video. All I remember from Ren's confession was thinking that the scene had dragged on for far too long. I remember the scene where Emilia ditches Subaru after he white knighted her, and how I didn't feel the least bit sorry for him. And I think I remember something about Ren and Rem's backstory which was kind of exciting, but it's all just a blur at this point. The only other thing that stood out to me was the return from death power that Subaru has. I've always been a sucker for exploring conscious respawning as a concept. It's one of the many things that fascinated me about the Shadow of Mordor games, and ReZero certainly delivers on the potential that the concept has. It takes him a while to figure out, the deaths are usually gruesome and leave a lasting impact on him, and he even uses it intentionally to redo the last few days at one point. And I think I vaguely remember something about each death leaving a parallel world behind where that death and the consequences thereof are permanent. However, I can't remember if that was brought up in the show or by someone talking about it. Perhaps one day I'll give ReZero another watch and view it through the lens that Subaru is supposed to be an absolute arse in the beginning. And maybe I'll even come out liking the show better. But for the time being, my deja vu of ReZero is kind of meh. Not bad, but not good either. If a dark subversion of isekai sounds like a good time, then you should check it out. Even if it doesn't, you should probably give the first few episodes a red hot go of your own. Do not let this video be your reason for not watching the show. I may have missed all the exciting things they did with the main character, but that doesn't mean you will too. And that is it for this episode of Deja Vu. I'd like to thank my patrons, Orion Train, Quincy Chamberlain, Jaman5, Lars Espen, Shark, Data52, Nerxu, Pixcalibur, Alberto Cruz, and Tyler Bennett. If you too would like to support the channel further, consider becoming a patron yourself. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.